For more, I'm now joined by Klemens Skibicki. He's Professor of Communication and Media at the Cologne Business School. Good to have you with us. And talking about communication in particular, how would this kind of development in the digital age impact your job?
My job as a professor, but also as a consultant, will be changed a lot because the communication in general is going from a mass communication age to an individual age of communication in a social context. So I can facilitate communication among my students, and companies can facilitate the communication among their customers and with their customers and with their employees in a way we could never think of. Social media is now the development. What we see right now, this artificial intelligence will change it a lot more.
Okay, so I can tell that you see it as a positive development. And as I said already, I mean, car drivers or people who like plants are talking to plants. So basically talking to an artificial intelligence, an intelligent software is just the next step. It's something that's already happening.
Yes, it's the next step. That means we have a need for simplicity. People need to have it simple, everything we do. And now we need apps, now we have operating system, and this AI, this intelligence will facilitate that. We don't have to think how to press which button or something. We just say it, and this will happen. And I mean, talking to a plant is what people maybe did, and maybe to a cat, but now we're talking to machines. But I think it will facilitate human life. Not only facilitation will be there, but we will focus on human things. So machines will take away everything we don't want to. Okay. We can concentrate on what is really makes up human beings.
That's an interesting take. AI actually will allow us to be more human. But looking at the possible downsides of it, we talked about all this data that's going to be collected, already being collected. What about data security, especially when we go even further?
I think we have to make a difference between data security. Data security has to be there, but data protection, what we see, for example, in Germany, we are hysteric about data protection. We have to know that these services, these personal assistants, can only work if they know who we are, what is interesting for us, and so on. Therefore, lots of data are there. So we have to have the idea that companies need to have my data to create benefits for me. And if they don't, I will not be their customer. So therefore, we have to be a little bit more let's get into this new world and try what works and what doesn't. Okay,
a bit more optimistic, a bit more courageous. And of course, we need companies that provide all that. And from my understanding is that Europe is somewhat lagging behind. We'll get back to this, so don't go anywhere. First of all, of course, most of us are using our smartphones, tablets and PCs several hours a day, every day. Multiply that by billions of users worldwide. And we're talking about a giant wave of digital data that grows bigger by the day. And Germany is really at the forefront of surfing that wave, thanks in part to its interpretation of the business buzzword Industry 4.0. It's a far from empty phrase. A vast amount of private and public funding is flowing into automated factories, and one center of this tech revolution is Frankfurt, home to the world's biggest internet hub. And with data volume growing at such a rapid pace, new data centers are popping up like mushrooms. Is an industry with serious growth potential.
Thomas King is an executive in the world's largest internet exchange based in Frankfurt. Almost every email, video, and data file that's sent in Germany passes through these cables. This digital data flow has more than tripled over the past 10 years. The amount of internet traffic is measured in terabytes per second. At peak periods, his company handles 5.5 terabytes per second.
You can picture this as 1.2 million people sitting at home, streaming a video in HD quality on their television, mobile phone or smartphone, all at the same time. That combined data volume is what travels through DKIX Frankfurt each and every second.
Mareike Jacobshagen works for Interaction, a company that provides data center services at internet exchange points. Interaction is currently expanding its operation in Frankfurt. The new facilities are being built on former industrial sites, which are still relatively affordable. Frankfurt is a hub for fiber optic networks, including ones that connect to Eastern Europe and beyond. Vast sums go into maintaining their infrastructure. This new complex, for example, cost about 100 million euros.
We build a new data center every year. Demand is very high. Sometimes we'll already have leased half the space in a new data center before it's even opened its doors.
Security is extremely tight at data centers, though none of the data that passes through these air-conditioned rooms is actually stored here. It's all through traffic, made up of a vast number of connections from all over the world. But how secure are the data superhighways that entire industries rely on?
If one internet hub, a larger internet hub, were to malfunction, it could have an effect on an entire region. You might see slower response times, for example. But generally speaking, the global internet would still work. Colleagues in the US wouldn't really be affected by a malfunction in Europe, for instance.
Maximilian Brandl is a software developer who specializes in industrial digitalization. His company was commissioned by a control box manufacturer to build the smart factory of the future, a showcase for what might be possible in Industry 4.0. For example, the control boxes are designed on a computer. The 3D virtual prototype is transmitted online to the production area, where it's then built. Without internet hubs, this transmission would be impossible.
We have all the prerequisites here. We have inexpensive sensors, software. We have great automation components. We have cloud applications. We have telecom infrastructure. That's everything we really need to make the next quantum leap. I'm seeing new ideas, new use cases developing everywhere.
Industry 4.0 will also give Thomas King's Internet Hub a major boost. The quantity of data in circulation will also increase due to the rise of autonomous vehicles and virtual and augmented reality.
I can't tell you exactly which of these technologies will come out on top, but I can say that the future will bring increasing digitalization.
As our world goes ever more digital, at work and at home, more and more of our lives will pass through cables like these. Data is the currency of the future, and that currency will depend on data hubs like this one in Frankfurt.
All right, we're back now with Klemens Skibicki of the Cologne Business School. And going by this report, Europe is not lagging behind when it comes to digital technologies.
Yes, on the one side, yes, but here we're talking about infrastructure. This is very, very important. The capacities to transport data, we could never think of that before. But who controls this data? Who has the access? And not the data is the oil of the 21st century, connected data, turning big data into smart data to make better decisions in the eyes of customers. So infrastructure is nice, but what is happening in this infrastructure? And right now Europe is a little bit behind, I would say far behind American and Asian companies in living or be part of our lives and collecting these data and turning into smart data to make better decisions.
Okay, so the oil barons of today are the United States in particular because of their advance in digital technology. But that also implies, I mean, what about the security? I have to come back to this again because as my understanding is that however secure you can make one of these data centers, there's always somebody, a hacker out there, finding a way in.
Yes. Of course, we live in a digital network age. We're opening up many doors, and so we have to learn how to really make this safe again. But this is a new step. You see, in economic history or every step of history, every time we had new things like automobiles, we had to learn how to drive and make a road safe and something like that. So now we're really in this turn, and we have to learn how to make this safe all the time. But again. Safety is one thing. What we're doing with this data, and the Amazon, Facebooks, and Googles of this world, they have to care for our data safety because they want to make business with us.
Or the unknowns. I mean, we've heard these allegations that the US presidential election was rigged because of outside fake news and also working social media. I mean, how big is that threat, and what do we do about that?
I think I also see it in historic context. I mean, we always had manipulation. In the mass communication age, we also had this. parties who were owners of media companies, and we had influencers in the classical media also who influenced elections. But here we have a new era, and I think fake news, for example, it's like Wikipedia. You can put something in, but you can also correct it really, really fast. Once you write something wrong into a book, it's there for a long time. But on digital, on social media, for example, we can right away turn it into, hey, this is a fake news, because you have
react immediately.
You have the intelligence of the crowd who can directly react, and everybody sees that's a fake.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, then, in that respect, at least. Klemens Skibicki of the Cologne Business School, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.